I'm David Werba, a co-founder of EverSmart City.
And I'm Sophia Levis, co founder and CEO of EverSmart City. EverSmart City is a mixed use IRL smart community built with shipping containers to provide affordable housing powered by renewable energy. It has sustainable agriculture and is integrated with blockchain technology. The pilot city will be built in Phoenix, Arizona by the end of 2023. If this is your first time watching us, please like and subscribe and join the conversation on Discord. Today, we're going to discuss tokenizing smart cities and sustainable gamification. David, you have the floor.
All right, yeah. So I'm remembering the early days, over 2 years ago, when we started kind of mapping this out and putting it together. And I remember identifying some critical aspects that we felt at that point. Which, number one, we did not want to build an economy in a bubble. Right? It's just not interesting. It's not exciting, and it's not a precursor to a global brand. And it just would not work, really. Um, and we also wanted the system, the model, to be frictionless and borderless, again, because we are building cities initially in the United States and then ultimately overseas. So we wanted to have this, connected network that, will grow and expand over time, and something that was able to integrate growing partnerships, which we have, and for the past 2 years, and we're already talking with new companies to partner with us moving forward. So once that was identified, it was, I guess, somewhat of a serendipitous time, in the sense that the NFT popularity was growing rampantly, and it was the right decision. So that's kind of the basis of our tokenization is non-fungible tokens, and they're going to be used in many different ways. So the first one that we referenced in a past video is about resident incentivization. So there will be a series of EverSmart City NFTs that will be created for residents that kind of represent each home in the smart community, and they'll be used to help incentivize them. So the early series that we're minting, and we are minting these on the carbon neutral wax blockchain, in the attributes of these NFTs, there are basically the elements of the actual physical IRL in real life smart city, such as solar, wind turbines, electric carports, farmers markets, greenhouses, etc. And those will have a direct correlation to the processes that run inside the IRL smart communities that we're building. So that's the first thing. So NFTs can be used to incentivize the residents for positive behaviors. That's what we want to focus on, the positive behaviors, not penalties or anything. And some of this stuff we workshopped with the sustainability department and Greenlight Solutions at Arizona State University, and had a fantastic time working with them. They were doing a lot of polling for us in the Phoenix area, just getting feedback from potential residents and people that would be interested in living and moving into smart communities. So that was a big influence as well to this. And so incentivized behaviors such as, conserving water, conserving energy, or even contributing time in the community at the farmers markets, or helping in the community gardens or the greenhouses, or, various different other aspects. So, but to better explain how this is not a bubble economy, the first series we recently launched on the Wax blockchain was called the Founder's Key. So the Founder's Key is for the public. So we want the public to be able to participate in the growth of this network as well. And those public NFTs have similar attributes that I described for the resident NFTs. And what kind of ties everything together is called the staking platform. So with Wax being a proof of stake blockchain, it opens a lot of doors and exciting pathways that you can kind of build a network and, kind of tokenize with that methodology. And so we are aligning with a nonprofit that is actually building the staking platform and creating tokens that are mined and earned by staking your NFTs. And we will dig a little deeper in a future video in terms of more details on the staking system and the mining power of each NFT. But this is the general concept. So it was an important decision. Some of the reasons we did it this way is because we researched and witnessed a lot of those kind of bubble economies that were attached to real estate developments that didn't really foster any type of growth or participation on a global scale. It was really just an economy that for, maybe 100 people. And based on what we're building here, it just doesn't fit for us. So we've designed a much more powerful, wide-reaching plan here. In addition to that, we have a lot of creative NFT series that are going to be supplemental to the founders keys and the platinum keys and all those NFTs. And we're going to introduce independent artists where there will be creating fine art, original art that we will create NFTs for those. And there will be various blending mechanisms and kind of gamification woven into all these NFT series where, people can stake and people can blend NFTs together to create another NFT. And there's different scarcity elements built into it as well to make it fun. And we call that the EverSmart meta game. And that'll be rolled out, throughout this year. And hopefully the whole staking system should be announced and live in the summer of 2022. That is our target. And yeah, so look forward to discussing more about this, but that's kind of the base level of what we're doing here.
All right, David, let's answer some questions that we've got. All right, so what do you mean that the NFTs or the tokens are asset backed, and why is that important?
Yeah, so asset backed, and this is what initially attracted me to this project personally, is having worked on multiple blockchain startups since around 2015. There's always a struggle to make the economy and the tokenization fully liquid and successful and sustainable, right? And the vast majority, like 95% plus token economies are really based on users of some type of application, whether it be social or gaming or music or whatever it is. And it's, like I said, it's just always a struggle. And there's a very rare subset within tokenization models that are actually backed by something tangible. And that always interests me. I always studied those deeply and really wanted to build a project in that vein. And so, like we have mentioned in past videos, we are generating resources on site in our smart communities, such as solar power and hydrogen and carbon fiber, natural gas, and much more. And those resources can either be used or sold. And that's kind of what completes like this circular economy that actually backs this whole tokenization model. So it's fully sustainable, and it's also liquid. It's going to be a very liquid market. And yeah, it's a great thing. It's a very powerful system.
Okay, I'm going to lump these two questions together that came in because I think they interact with each other. So why should meaning why should people buy your NFTs? What makes them valuable or different?
Oh, why should we be? Yeah, I want to be careful with this one. I'm never gonna tell people to please buy it, and we're never gonna promise any type of growth and price or anything. We just encourage people to become a participant, get involved, and be part of our community. Um, that being said, I mean, when you have a resource-backed economy where it's sustainable, it's obviously it's very powerful. And liquid, and it kind of has a support system built into the market because the resources being generated are infinite. It's our whole economy is, and this is in bold print in a blog that we wrote about sustainable gamification, that our economy is not based on users. And I just ask people to let that sink in for a bit, because if an economy is not based on users, then you have much more freedom, and it's just much more powerful and long lasting, and can run for decades. And when you have an economy based on users, the success of the market and the liquidity of the market can fluctuate. And if the user base is shrinking or the project is not doing well, the market dries up, and it's very difficult to sell any tokens you have. There's just not enough buyers in the market. And it's, yeah, I mean, that's kind of simple economics there. But yeah, I just encourage people to just try and understand the importance of that aspect.
And so what makes us different than other NFTs?
Oh, I mean, everything we've talked about tonight is that these are very unique. I mean, we're the first real estate development project to kind of launch NFTs and have an asset-backed economy in this way. There are a few projects that have been tokenizing and kind of creating sub economies or bubble economies that not really in the same way that we're doing it. So we have, we're much more scalable, I guess, in the way that we're designing this. And it's very unique, very powerful. Many of the partnerships that we have are just really large projects. I mean, and it's I'm excited to start launching that. We can't say that in this video right now, but we will be announcing those partnerships throughout the spring and summer of 2022. And it's all part of the support system of this whole economy.
We are definitely eager to get that out. All right. So I said we were going to wrap up with that one, but let's do one more question and then let's wrap up with this. How do investors benefit from adding tokenization to this real estate development?
Well, what type of investors are you talking about? How do investors benefit from this type of tokenization? Well, so, I mean, yeah, that's hard to answer because it depends on what type of investors. We have investors in our company, EverSmart City, the company. But if you're referring to investors in the NFT, that's usually not the word I use for users in the NFT world. I usually say like participants or something like that. But
right. So I don't think these are NFT purchasers. I think they're talking about investors in the
oh,
company.
yeah, gosh, I let's save that for a different video then, Sophia.
All right, guys, you heard it. We will get back to you on that one and go into much more detail. So thank you so much, Dee, for dropping some massive knowledge on tokenization and NFT. And thank you guys for joining us. We look forward to continuing the conversation with you in Discord. And we are EverSmart City, where technology enhances the human experience.